Hello, happy Thursday. Oh, welcome to the SHAC Shack. With a minute to spare and the tea bag still in the cup. Come on in. Does the volume work? And then we'll get started. Let me get rid of this tea bag though, because it'll be like stew if I don't. Right. Come on in. Is anybody there apart from me? Is the volume working? There's a little bit of a lastminute.com here because I couldn't find anything, because everything's packed to go up to the TV later, because we've got a birthday celebration. Good morning. I can't find my other glasses either. So these are my close-ups. So it's all a blare. I can see some people though. I'm glad to hear it. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Welcome to the SHAC Shack. It's bauble time. And Paul, would you be so kind as to let me know that everything is working and that you're in the building with me, or have you left the building? And if you have, I understand, because it's a little bit overwhelming at the moment, isn't it? Be all right. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time. We will get through this, friends. I got a message, nails. I got a message from Grace at 6 o'clock this morning, because apparently the tail end of that Hurricane Ida, for those of you who don't know, Grace is my lovely daughter who lives in New York. And apparently the tail end of Hurricane Ida kicked New York. And they had like historical, biblical flash flooding last night and yesterday. And in Brooklyn as well, where Gracie is. But she was good enough to let me know that everything is fine. They're 11 floors up. And it's hairy, scary, but it's okay. And actually, she said it's starting to subside now. I saw some pictures on with the subways, just like torrents. Yeah, well, there you go. Global warming? What global warming? What do we think? Hey? But there you go. That's just my opinion. And opinions are like noses. Everyone's got one. Are we ready to colour in our baubles? Good. Now, let me just make sure the camera's all right. Oh, come on, Grace. Stop rabbiting. Prost. Cup of tea. You rock. Everything's ready for the TV. Well, no, it's not what I'm talking about. Everything's packed for the TV, I think. If it's not in at the end of this counter, well, Paul hasn't got it, it ain't going. But it all starts tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So I'm sure we'll think of something before then. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It always is. This too shall pass. And sometimes it's okay to just roll with the punches. I mean, my God, we've learned how to do that for the last 1.5 years, haven't we? Is this a moving feast or what? So there we are. Come on then, baubles. What a load of baubles, eh? Last week, when we got together in the SHAC Shack, Save Happy and Creative Stay Home and Craft, we drew some baubles. Hopefully this camera's on, and it is. Gray, you're on fire. I do wish I had my other glasses though, because this is a little bit like that. Do you remember these baubles? We did these as a download, didn't we, last year in the shack, when we were hanging out together every single day, except weekends. How are you? Hey, that's better. God, blimey. It's a funny old world, isn't it? I know, you're not alone. You're not alone. Don't worry. There's no point. We're powerless. We really are. The only thing that we can control is us and how we were reacting to things. And I know I'm like a record player, but believe you me, just don't worry about stuff you can't control. Don't worry about it. It won't help. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. It's almost like, if you haven't learned not to worry yet, here's another load of stuff that you can't do anything about. You want to worry about that as well? Okay. And here's another load, and here's a disaster, and here's a war. There you go. What are you going to do about that? Worry, worry, worry. There's nothing we can do about this stuff. And I know sometimes it feels almost fickle, doesn't it? when we sit here doodling and but do you know what? I can only speak for myself. I have to keep my head clear. I have to stay sane. Then at least I can be of service to those in my life that I can help and I can do something with, you know? So just keep smiling. We're not being superficial or fickle just because we colour in or we do pottery or, you know, it's called meditation. This is meditation, people. Come on then, baubles it is. So these are the baubles we're using. Paul is in the room with you. If you have any questions at all, back to that camera. If you have any questions at all, lovely Paul Church is in the building with you. And we're going to get started because now we only meet once a week. It could take months. It could be Easter before we get these baubles done if I don't stop waffling. I know, I heard you. I heard you. You're going to keep waffling all day long. Well, yeah, my ride, my rules. Now, come on, let's do these baubles. I'll show you where we were. Right, tracing paper. Let's have a look. Copy paper. Ah, here's one that I did earlier. Half finished. Right, this is where what we were doing. Let's have a little recap just in case anybody's not caught up with us. We took the shape, didn't we? Let's have a quick recap. We took the shape. We traced out the shape. We doodled a landscape inside said shape. We flipped it over. We took a soft pencil and we transferred some lead to the back so that we could flip it back again. And then we transferred that to, oh, well, hang on. I've got one that I got to last time. We transferred it to a piece of stencil card, or actually it's a card blank. So if you take a 5x5 inch card blank like that, and then you see on the fold, if you cut it on the fold, like 1/2 inch off this side and 1/2 inch off that side, then that becomes your topper. So by the time this is all, look, let me show you. By the time this is edged in black, or I think this will look good as well. I've got a bit of glitter paper, maybe put a bit of glitter behind it like that. Right, I'm not sure yet, I haven't decided, jury's out. Red and black all the way around the outside, around here. You see, and then that is the perfect size to sit on top of. And one card blank gives you 2 toppers, gives you 2 card tops, and then you've got your proper one. So hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This is what they are, card blanks. 20 in a pack, 5x5, so it's 10x5, scored but not folded. Right, there you go. So that's what we're doing. And so then we transferred it to this piece of stencil card or card blank, same material. Then what we did was the proverbial we decided to change up the messages. So we're not sending the same Christmas card to the whole family. And so we then on another bit of tracing paper, we did Peace on Earth. We just overlaid it. We did Happy Christmas, which was the one that we transferred in the end. We did another Peace on Earth. Oh no, that's Peace and Joy. This one's Peace on Earth, like that. And then we did this one, which we liked as well, From Our Home to Your Home. Can you see this all right? Cool. And then what you do is, again, you put graphite or lead on the back, turn it over, and then put it in. So the point being that you keep these 2 pieces separate so that you can mix and match. Don't put this on there, because then it'll be a bit of a monkey if you want to do a From Our Home to Your Home one. See? So you always transfer that, and then when you've done that, then we transfer this. Right. And so then, moving on, we've now got, in pencil, we've got it on our little piece of paper. Right, so make sure, Barbara, that you don't hide your bits now. Just bear with me a minute. Smile. Come on. Do you know, a couple of years ago, and it is a couple of years now, we went out to see our dear friends Mike and Shona. They live in Wales. beautiful place. Mike and Shona Bossum. You must know Mike Bossum and Shona. They're the encaustic art specialists, fabulous artists. Anyway, they're really old, dear friends of ours. And for our wedding present, they invited us over to Wales for a week. So off we went. And we climbed around the cliffs, and there was one place, because they're real, like Mother Earth people, real fabulous. And we went to this place, and there were like, what do they call, like air holes, you know, when the water goes and flies through like the subway in New York, but au naturel. And Shona, she stood and she said to me, hold my hand, and she said, start humming, like, and so we did. And all four of us, I mean, there was nobody around, but they don't care anyway. And we sang to the sea, and it was just amazing, you know, brilliant. I know I'm going mad, but it really was. You felt like you were at one with our friends and with your surroundings, you know. When I retire, I'm going back there, and I'm going to sing with the sea. I know, ride with the dolphins. I haven't done that. I don't think that's quite the same thing. Yeah, that's a bit more of a gimmick, isn't it? Swimming with the dolphins. I'm talking about singing with the sea. Yeah, well, it worked. And maybe that's why your Buddhist monks go, on the top of a mountain. Must do something. Give it a go. I mean, it doesn't cost anything, does it? I know I'm mad. It's official. Okay. Now, let's have a look. What we want to do now is ink. Do you have your Micron pens? Do you have your Micron pen handy? This is what we're going to need today. If you've already done this, good for you. Micron pen, wubber. You need a pink eraser. That one looks a bit grubby. I'll just get rid of the black gear on there. Right. Okay. Faber-Castell eraser. We need that. Let's have a look. So we need a pen. We need rubber. We need... that'll do. Oh, and then while you're gathering all your bits, see if you can't find your mix mat. Have you got a mix mat or something that's got a bit of purchase like that? We're going to use our pergoliners to colour in, and maybe even, in fact, no, definitely for certain, a couple of the polychromos, the grey ones. Okay, going to do that for shading. And what are we learning today? Well, what we're learning today, apart from how to sing or hum at the sea, what we're learning is how you can layer up. So if we look at this more closely, let's have a look on this one, see if we can look. I know it's not finished yet, but that's because I'm running around like a lunatic. But what you can see here, right, and this is a work in progress, you can see the shadow, and there's the wash in the background. The grey wash is done with watercolour. And then I was just seeing if you can add the A pencils, so that's the aqua. Then you use the B pencils to add the shadow. Then you can go back over with the A pencils. So it's a sort of a AB thing, right? This will be nice when it's finished. Don't judge it yet. In fact, don't judge it. Okay, right. Bit of copy paper to my left so that I can test my pens and pencils. And now I'm going to... So those of you who have inked but want to continue with me, you go and get all your bits. Those of you who haven't inked, here we go. I'm going to use the number 1 pen. The number 1 pen. Okay, are we ready? Right, and now, calm down. Cup of tea, then we'll get going. And if it takes a little bit longer than an hour, that's okay. I've only got to go to Peterborough. And because we only meet once a week now, I don't really want it to become a scramble. Because the whole point of this is to hang out together, keep each other company, have a laugh, have a chat. It's a bit one-sided, this, but I love you. And then, yeah, and next week we'll go again, you know, next week we'll go again. But so if it goes over 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock today, it's all right, isn't it? It's all right with me. Okay, so let me get my glasses on. And now we're going to ink. Okay, gently does it. I'll come in a bit closer, shall I? Let's move in a bit closer. And let's settle down to some work. We've done our recap. We know what we're doing. And now we can start on the actual artwork. So the first thing we're going to do, this is the process. The first thing we're going to do, we've penciled it. We'll ink it. We'll do a wash. We'll add some shade. We'll doodle a bit more. And we'll just start building our colour. Call this therapy, okay? Cheap, very cheap therapy. There we go. Round we go. Turn the artwork to come to you, because these are quite long sweeping. Don't press too hard. So, these are great, these pens. They're ideal for illustrating and for what we're doing here. You get different thicknesses, don't you? There we go. Round we go. And don't worry if it's a bit thin in places and a bit thick. You're going to do so much shading. Let's just thicken that one up a little bit. That'll do. Right, there we go, round we go. Let's do the outside first. And then we can work on the inside. Have you already got your bauble inked up? There we are. Right, next line. We're inking it the same as we... Right, round we go. We're inking it in the same way that we drew it, really, aren't we? Right, there we go. If you're doing long sweeps and you have to stop, try and stop near a building. Okay. One, stop near a building, and two, oh, it's my microphone whacking my jacket. And when you go back over it, let me show you. If you say there's the house, right? So you're making a hill. So you go up like that and try and keep going till you get to there, obviously, right? If you can't, there's the house again. If we're coming up like that and then we get to there and we know we've got to stop, for example, then don't start there. Go back on yourself and go back over like that and try and hit the house. But the point is that you do a sweep and then you go back over yourself to stop a blot there. Okay? Simple stuff, really. Now, let's have a look. Okay, house next. Cottage in the woods. So this Sunday at 2 to 4 on telly, I've got some new lino cut stamps to show you, and they've got a little cottage in the woods. Oh look, I forgot the chimney. Yeah, I like it. I think it's come out really nicely. There's a robin, and yeah, it's like a triptych again. Three pictures that make one triptych. Really nice. I think so. Quite a lot of work. There, trees. So that's going to be cool. That looks a bit weird grey. Don't worry about it. It's a forest. Do you know, yesterday we went for a walk up on the forest, and there's a really nice area. There's a place called the Old Lodge, which is it's a stud farm actually, very, very wealthy Saudi chap, Prince somebody or other. Hang on, Happy Christmas. But next to that, there's also a nature reserve. So Dave and I decided yesterday evening, rather than sit in front of the box again, let's get some fresh air. Let's go up on the forest and let's go to the nature reserve because we haven't been there before. So we went to the nature reserve, parked up, got through the gate. I mean, there was a bloke coming towards us in his shorts with his binoculars, right? Because there's, I think a lot of bird watchers, twitchers go up there to have a look, see? So he came along with his binoculars and we said, good evening, as you do. And he said, it's rubbish. I said, excuse me? He said, nah, it's not worth bothering. Didn't see nothing. I said, but, oh, look at that star. I said, all right, well, fine. He went, nah, I'm looking for a Dartford warbler. No good. I thought, well, go to Dartford then. And he just said, it's rubbish, might as well turn around and get back in your car. I thought, well, I didn't actually come to see a Dartford warbler. I came to get some fresh air and clear my head. And do you know what? This area, it's an area of natural, outstanding beauty. It's phenomenal. And the colours and the heathers and the trees and who gives a monkeys if I understand he was a bird watcher and he came specifically to tick a box that said, I have seen the Dartford warbler up on the forest, you know, but how can you walk away saying it's rubbish here? And you're standing in one of the most glorious, like, just breathtaking views. Yeah. And the sun was setting, and you know when it splits through the clouds and you get that kind of, it's almost like ethereal, biblical, where the rays, they shatter and it's like, and he said it was rubbish. I thought, well, there you go. Each to his own. Madness. It was really beautiful. Yeah, very, very lovely place. And we did go down to the bottom. There's also a waterfall. Well, waterfall. I don't know, waterfall. I mean, hang on. They're called the Eden Waterfalls. You know, let's just call it a trickling stream, shall we, that goes downhill, okay? Or maybe I was in the wrong place. But waterfall isn't this, you know, water trickle maybe, right? But very, very beautiful, absolutely wonderful, really, really lovely. But I just don't want anyone going down there, walking miles to the bottom, and then, yeah, well, actually, we were at the bottom, so maybe the waterfall's at the top. But it's very lovely, just gorgeous. We're so lucky we live right on the doorstep. Do you live in a lovely place like that too? Now, let's have a look. This needs to be dry before I can attack it with my wubber. Let's have a look. I'm going to go carefully. And I need to rub away the lines because I can't do it afterwards. So let's go gently. If I smudge it, I smudge it. All in a day's work, right? Yeah, so we've taken to walking every evening when we can. Just get fed up with the box, really. Can't watch the news because it's just disturbing. Just can't do it anymore. And so we go up on the forest until it's dusk, really, till it's quite dark. So then by the time you come home, you know, sit and chat for a bit, time for bed. And another day is gone. And I don't want to wish my days away, but I also don't want to waste them worrying about stuff, Neil said shit, worrying about stuff that you cannot control. What is the point? Right, happy Christmas. You've got to fake it to make it, friend. Right, now I'm going to make a little line here as well. I'll show you. Because this is going to be a colouring opportunity. See? And what I was thinking is that this red around here, red and white, we can do that all around the outside as well, because that will zest it up a bit, won't it? It'll be a lot lovelier than this, but it ain't over until it's over. Now let's go here, and then we'll come in here like that, and then go into that corner. Right, and while I've got my pen in my hand, let's do it here first, and then we'll do it here. I don't need to do this with pencil. Do you want to do it with pencil first? What we'll do is we'll go from here to here, to here to here, and now it's getting tighter as it's getting closer to the back. There you see, so it looks rounder. So it's quite big at the front, like that, and then it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. See, roundness. So right, we'll do the rest with colour. And in this bit here, we'll do the same thing. Wider, tighter, tighter, tighter. Okay, wider, wider, wide, narrowing up slightly. Take your time. It's just gonna be, and then by the time it gets down here, it's just a blur. That's it. Further away, see? Optical illusion. Right, do it again. Wider at the front. That'll do. We'll stay wider a little bit longer this time. And now we're getting tighter. And we'll do a couple of that size, and then we'll go a bit further. Now we'll get a bit tighter again. Now we'll get tighter again. Now we'll go tighter, do a couple of that one. And now it's a blur again. That'll do. See? Further away again. What have I missed? I think that's the lot. Okay. How are we doing? Are we okay? Get rid of your pencils. I've got some pencil work around the trees here, which is a bit... Get rid of it now. There we are. Are we all caught up? Right, so while we're here, let's take out... I'm going to do this... I think I can do this with a pen. Do I want... No, I don't need to ink it first. We're going to do it with a pen as well. Might as well. We've got it in our hands. So we're going to do a double line round the outside. Quite a small one. And don't worry, it's freehand. We're not using a ruler. We're not using a ruler. So we'll start in the corner, make a dot, right? And then we're and don't worry if it's a bit wobbly. Doesn't matter. So we're just going to go, right, go. And stop. Right, here we go again. And, oh, wobbly. Stop. It's all right, though. Doesn't matter. Hey, Gray, where are you going? and don't laugh. All right. Shh. Gently does it. Way. All right, that'll do. Okay. And straight away, it looks better, doesn't it? Right, we'll go inside that line. We're going in again now. And this time, you're just going to just keep going with it. If it goes up, go up with it. Just follow the curve, okay? Oh, you don't have to. Right, keep it quite thin. Here we go. That'll do. I haven't got a lot of room. I put my bauble too far up, look. Darn. Don't care. Really don't care. But there you go. See, because this one, the bauble's further down, look. See? Schoolboy error. Not going again, though. Life's too short. There you go. My dad is doing well. My dad is doing well. Thank you for asking. You did ask. I know a lot of you have been asking. Yeah, he's doing very well. And one day at a time, he's getting stronger. Sometimes we have bad days. not so good days, growing days, you know. He's been through the mill, but he's with us and he's grateful to be alive. And there we have it. He's grateful to be alive. Now I'm going this way so that I don't end up, because I want to have the boxes in the corner. So now I'll go this way, and then as I get closer, I'll soon see whether I've got a stretch. That's going to be absolutely wunderbar. Right, so I'll put the corner in there. Right, and then I'll just get to about 3/4 of the way, and then I'll come back and meet myself. This would be nice for colouring in. I mean, it's so simple. We decided in the shack, didn't we, to keep it simple, only because last year, or when last year, what am I talking about? Did you notice how the projects were getting more and more demanding, like challenging? Right, now it's going to go back the other way. And I thought, well, if they're challenging for me, what am I going to do? One big one? Yeah, that'll do. Nice. Because I was having sleepless nights worrying about what we were going to do together. And I thought, well, this is not what this was about. The shack was about us hanging out, keeping each other company, keeping each other safe and sane. And then I thought, this is turning into a blooming masterclass here. And it isn't one. It is not one. So I decided it would be nice to go back to just simple, hanging out, cup of tea, doodles, you know. So you agree? Am I doing a big one? There. Nice, hey? They look good. And so that's why I thought it would be nice just to keep it simple and tone it down and do things that are very achievable, you know, things that you can do on your own, things that you can do without feeling it's too much, you know, because everything else it's all going on. We don't need to add more pressure to ourselves, you know, especially not with this sort of stuff. I mean, let's face it, you buy a stamp if you don't want to doodle it. I've got some really nice bauble stamps. Do you know, last week when we were together, I said to you, the gnomes, I've got them here. Look, so bauble stamps, come on. These are the baubles, beautiful, right? These are the bauble stamps. Look at that. Hey, I know. I drew that. So you can see, can't you? This one's, you can see where I've got my idea from. So if you don't want to draw them, or you want to do loads of them, look, Happy Christmas. They're really nice. We've got there are 3 altogether. Where's the, oh, this is NEC, this was. Non-stop for 4 days. Well, that's a nice background. Gel press. Very arty. I can't find the religious one. There's one that says, can't find it. Never mind. I've got the stamp of it though. Yeah, there it is. There's the stamp of it. Joy to the world. That's nice. So it's a positive and a negative. So the thing about this as well is, where we've got to colour this one in now, this one is like, colour it in. See? So this is a positive. So this is the line art that we're doing now. Look, it's not dissimilar to what we're doing, really. Could put a little bit of bunting in, so you could fill it all up, make it all nice, put a snowman in there, do what you fancy. We're just keeping it simple. Oh, yeah. You could have put a little bit of bunting along there, Gray. Too late. But then when you've done the artwork, you see, then you ink this one up, and then you put that on there, and you've coloured it in. And this is the same thing. So when you look at these pieces here, you see this black line is that bit, and then that there is that bit on its own, works nicely, positive, negative. Put them together, and you got that. Boom. I know. What ink pads am I using? Distress Oxides. They came out that year, and we were. So you see on this one, for example, if you look at the negative, see the moon in there? There it is there. So this is what you do. You ink up the stamp with Distress Oxides, different colours, stamp it once, then spritz it lightly with water, what's left on the what's left on the stamp, stamp it again over the top of this. And that's how you get that mottled effect. Isn't that lovely? I know. So yeah, they're there. And then what I talked about last week was the gnomes. God, blimey. I didn't realise that you wanted them that We're supposed to be officially launching them next week. I think I've got a moment of clarity next week on Friday, and I'm supposed to be officially launched. I don't think there's anybody out there that hasn't got them anymore. I'm going to carry on though. I will do it. But the gnomes, talk about feel good, and it was a good time to launch them. I mean, I only mentioned it to you, and they went berserk. We're like, we're going to run out of polymer here with these gnomes. What are you doing? Right, there we go. Look, so we've got the groovy plates. And then the gnomes, the feel good, be good, do good, feel good. And then this one, live good, the fourth little girl. And this one's free when you buy them. Isn't that cool? Good launch. Yeah. I thought I'll just tell my mates in the shack about them. Crikey, Mikey. Yeah. So officially, we're launching them next Friday. I love it. Well, thank goodness you do buy our stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a business. It's not easy. I've got to tell you, it's a challenge at the moment, running the company. Now, let's get some colour going, shall we? What I want to do, first of all, I'm going to use my mix mat, and I'm going to go down the A end, A for aqua. So I'm going to use a white one, a black one, a blue one, and a kind of a purple one. There you go. That'll be nice. So I've got 7, 5, 3, and 1. That'll do. Yeah, let me put these in the lid. And then, right, what we're going to use to put a piece of card behind this so you can see the colours that we're mixing. Right, put that one there so I know what I'm doing. Right, bosh, bosh. I'm a lefty, so I'll put that to one side. Right. Oh, I haven't even finished my... Hang on, I've got to do this first. Hold on. Yeah, so let me just do this quickly while you get your mix mat and your pencils ready. There we are. Straightforward, isn't it? Yeah, so next week at 3 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a moment of clarity. Oh, Paul says it's... No, I'm wrong. It's the week after, the 17th. And then we've got a moment of clarity. Is that right, Paul? Oh, I don't know. I'm all at 6s and 2s. Right. So next week on Friday, I know we've got a craft along, and it's Linda. Hang on, coming from this side now. Linda Williams. Let's do a big one. There we are. Linda Williams. She's doing the groovy one next Friday night at 7 o'clock. Put it in your diary. It's to do with the roses. Remember the roses? Yes, that's next Friday. And then the following Friday, I'm doing the stampy one of the same thing, and we're launching the gnomes in the afternoon. Yeah. And I couldn't find the pyjama party for next Friday. I couldn't find the groovy plates, but I can show you a couple of finished samples from Karen Jackson. Good, I did find them. So it's this rose that we're doing with this beautiful trellis. You see, so you can cut the trellis out. And Linda showed me what we're doing, the project in the pyjama party. It's not this, but it is glorious. So if you're interested in joining us, there's still a whole week beforehand. And our Grace, weather permitting, will be in from New York next Friday too. That'd be good. Looking forward to seeing her. She's coming back to see her granddad again. Didn't manage to see him last time, so she's coming back. Not a good thing. Now we've got all our inking sorted, and there's not enough room really to put my hook. See, I made a little hook up here. I can't really... I'll have to think about that. Okay, so now let's get a colour for the sky. And what we're going to use, we can use brushes, or we can use water brushes. I think I'll go with a water brush. Water brush, these are good. That'll do. I'll use the water brushes. They're good. See if I can squeeze a bit of water out. Come on, I know you want to play. Squeeze a bit of water out onto the mix mat. Just a little dribble, like that. Is that one going to give me a bit more water? Let's have a look. That's better. Puddle. Right. Okay. And then we're going to take our A for aqua pencils and let's do a bit of blending. So what I want to achieve is a kind of a bit patchy. I want it patchy. Yeah? I want it patchy. So it looks like a watercolour. A bit moody. So rather than make the nib wet, what I'm going to do is rub a bit of blue down there, like so. Right, blue. That light blue. It's way too light, really. So what we're going to do is blend the colours. This is what the mix mat is for. So even though you've only got 20 pencils, we take the black. Let's add the black. In fact, let's add a little bit of purple. So we're getting a little palette going now, you see. So we've got the 3 colours there. And we've got the water to mix. Now let's take our brush. And where did I put my copy paper? Because that's what I want to test. So I need a bit of copy paper. And I need a bit of, I'm going to use paper towel as well. Just to make sure I don't flood anything. Right, that'll work. Okay, you ready? So we'll take that and let's just take that water and let's start here like this. And we're just going to mix that blue. Right, we want to wash. I mean, when I mean wash, it's called, I've just realised I've still got some pencil on my star. So you can't really rub this out afterwards. So you might as well, and that star looks more like a, I don't know, like a spaceship. It's okay. It's fine. Right, so we've got a real light blue wash, but it's a little bit very light, isn't it? But I'm going to put a light blue wash down, and it's like water. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, it's very watery. Put a little bit more blue in so we don't have to go over again and again. So that'll probably be about right. Let's take a little bit of black and let's add a little tiny bit of black. It just greys it up a bit. There you go. See the difference? That's more like it. Right, so we've got plenty of water. And then what we'll do is we'll just sweep down. Just when you get to the stars, obviously stop. So we're just going to push this water through here like so. There we go. And we're going to do this in quite a naive sort of way. So in other words, we're not too concerned if it's not perfect. Okay. We're just going to flood the whole area of the sky with this blue. It's good. Right, there we go. Come up the other way. And when you get to the stars, just roughly miss them. There we go. And the trees, a bit too much. Just push the water, the blue water, which is all it is really. Just push the blue water around and get an undercoat. It's what's called, if you like, it's not really a glaze because it's got colour in it, but it's what one does to help colour move more. You lay down a little bit of water when you're using watercolour paper, for example. There you go, see? So we've done that. And then let's take that grey again there. So we don't want to do this. We're just going to take a little tiny bit of black with some water now. In fact, let's add a bit of white, which sounds a bit bizarre, but it does work. So we'll take a little bit of blue, a little bit of black, and a little bit of white. And we'll call that snow. Have a look. Just different. It's just different to the sky and different to the background. That's all. Just a little bit grey, see? So we'll get that colour down. And the same across here as well. So if you had to do this with a pencil, it'd take forever. So I just thought, I thought, well, this would be quite an easy thing to do. Just get that colour in like that. Cool. Now then, so we've got that's got to dry now before you can go in with the next layer. So while that's drying, let's go in with a bit more. Let's take a bit of that purple and the black and the blue. Right, I'm going to make another squirt of water over here, like that. That's going to be my base. Okay, a little bit grayer, you see. Let's take a bit of that purple in. See how we're changing the colour? See, it's still very sky, isn't it? But it's not so... There you go. That's nice, 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 nice. That's it. So what we want now, we've mixed that nicely, and now we want something that's a little bit more... Let's tackle the trees and the house. So to tackle the trees and the house, I'm leaving that one there. I don't want to use that quite yet. And I'm going to add a little bit more water here. Right, that's it, that'll do. And now I'm going to use a bit of black. A bit more black, actually. Come on, grey. Okay, black, bit blue. Okay, so this is the trees and the houses. Make sure it's not too wet, though. This is going to be a bit thicker now. Is it too dark, or is that all right? A bit lighter. And what we'll do is, to make it lighter, we'll just make it wetter. Okay, that'll do. Or we'll be here all night. All day. That works. Let's do the back ones. Right, let's do the back ones because they're a bit dark. But it's a really nice, easy way. Let's get a bit whiter one for that front. That's it. And then the house as well, I'm going to grab a bit of the snowy colour for the house. We can always add depth, but it's not so easy to take it away, is it? See, we can add a little bit of shadow under there. Getting there already. Getting there already. So the trick here is to not fiddle. So just get some colour in there. Just get a bit of depth in that corner there. There you go, look. Get a bit of colour in now. Shadows. Oh yeah, the 2 to 4 show. When you see how you get a shadow going? That's quite nice. Let's do that front tree. So you're just pulling water around really for the base colour. That'll do for the moment. Now let's do this bit here, and I think I'll use. What colour is that? Blue. Let's just change the colour up a little bit. A bit of black, grey, white. That's it. Let's just go in here. It's a bit dark grey. So we'll use the lighter colour in the centre and meet the dark. There we go. That works, doesn't it? So we'll meet the light in the middle, and then we'll meet the dark at the outside. There we go. That'll do. All right, so you've got that depth around the outside. And then by now the background should be drying. Have you got hang on, let's do a bit of depth around this side and then leave the top bit white. Have you got I was going to say a hairdryer. Have you got one of these? Heat gun. A heat tool. Because you can always speed dry this if you're working on something and it's not drying very quickly. Let's take a bit of that depth there. Right. Okay. What's the time? Oh, it can't be already, is it? Right, let's add a little bit of depth around the back, shadow. And I thought about this earlier on when I was doing this. And I thought, because there's a temptation to get the trees green and and I thought, no, I don't want to. I just want to keep this like we're using blue, grey, white, black, and the only flash of colour is the red. And I think when we do the outside, that's going to really make it pop. Like there's a red door. That's my mum's favourite perfume. And then we've got red going through there. But we don't have to do that quite yet. when this is dry, so while that's, see, that's the other thing is, while that's drying, we could be doing the outside. So let's do that. Let's just do that, because that's going to take time, isn't it? That's going to take time. We could at least start it. Get your black pen. I think I'm going to use the pen for this though. Okay. And we're going to use black and red, because I think that will look really cool. So you're going to do every other one black. That will really make it jump. There are, with these micron pens, you've got different thicknesses as well, because I'm using the number 1 here. But you got like 8 and 4, much thicker. I don't know that they necessarily work for this, because this gets right in the corners. So it's almost like you get right in the corners really quickly and then just fill it. Don't press too hard. If your pen seems to lose its tip, then it's 99 times out of 100, it's, you just twist it like that. See, just twist it like that, and then it will come back. The trick is not to press too hard with these. Paul says he hasn't got a hairdryer. Haven't you, love? He said last week, it's a standing joke with us. Paul said last week, oh, I went to get my hair cut this afternoon. I said, didn't take too long then. Oh no, first of all I said, which one? But he takes it good. And I remember, I've got photographs, I'm going to have to dig them out, when Paul had loads of hair. Do you remember, Paul, when you had loads of hair? That's how long we've known each other. See, this is so relaxing and so simple. And this is what we did right in the beginning when we first got into the SHAC Shack together. So let's just do one side, and then we can start with the shading. Hey? There are so many different ways to colour things in. When you have to make more than one Christmas card, you know, when you're pushed for time, or then I think the watercolour idea, it just is a lot faster. See how light that is though? It's really, obviously, because it's so watery, it dries really lightly. That's okay. Now in my box of tricks, rather than use a watercolour now, I'm going up the other end of the pergoliners, and I'm going to use the red, the B pencil, the B. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm waiting for this to dry. It's not quite ready yet. And now I can go in with my B pencil. See, the B pencil is wax based, and so water won't move it. Water will not shift it. If I, for example, if I put that on there and I try to blend this, look, it won't go, it just doesn't, it won't blend. Okay. So that's why it's good to have both in the box. You've got the water solubles and then you've got the blending pens. See, this is going to look so good when it's done. Straight away. And then, and also when you sharpen this and you get in there, that looks really cool too. And the other thing is that once you've done your, there we are, cool, looks nice, doesn't it? Once you've got your undercoat down, you see you've got choices now. You can go in and start adding shade. So here's the thing. You can go in, I've put some red on there now, nicely. Let's have a look though. That's all right. Right, so here's my skyey colour. What have I got here? Yeah. So for example, if I want to, I've got choices. I can go in now and I can add a depth. See, just another layer. The only thing, the trick here, or the important thing, is to make sure that you let the first layer dry before you add the next layer. That's the only thing. That's really important. And if you want to kind of make the bauble look round, then you want it to be darker around the outside, don't you? So the game is to, let's just take a bit of water. This one's not giving me much water. Let's take some water out of that one. That's it. I think this one might have some pigment clogged in it or something. Right, see, so if I take that colour now and I can add the depth around the outside, so you see how you can build your depth around the outside, and you can pick up some purple, and that's a good starting place, that purple. I mean, I wouldn't go straight in with the purple, but just pick up a bit of blue, pick up a bit of black till you're happy. This time the consistency is going to be a little bit thicker. Right, and then in we go. And because we've got some water down already, you can build up your colour really nicely now and quickly with depth. Yeah? And then rather than have stripes in the sky, see, just pull it through. That's it, simple. And if it's patchy and sort of watercolory, that's what we are after. I like that look. So this one's a little bit more purpley than the original one. But that looks good. And then I can add a little bit of purple colour around here as well if I want to bring it in. Nice. And then, you see, this has to dry before I can go to the next layer. So while that's drying, what I can do now is go in all the time while I'm waiting for one thing to dry, I'll go in and work on the next thing. So, for example, the houses should be pretty dry and the trees. So I've got choices. Either I can go in with pencils or I can go in with watercolour. And you can use the watercolour pencils dry as well. You don't have to add water to them. They're just right. But I'm going to show you a couple of shading tricks now. There's a set of 12 polychromos that we added to the box of 60. Do you remember? That have got silver and gold and all those colours. Here we go. See, this has to be dry. So excuse me. I'm just going to dry this, because if you go on to this, let me get the fast one. That is fast. If you go over this now with a pencil, it will rough up the card. So it always needs to be dry before you go in with the next layer. Works well though. So curl it, if it starts to curl, turn it round and it will reverse the curl. There you go, till it's flat. Sorted. That'll do. Right, and now it's ready to be, now I can go back over it, you see. That's it. That's it, that's dry now. So what I want to do now is go in with a little bit of shadow, because we do like a bit of shadow. Now this blue, this is a nice colour. It's in the set of 12. It's called Sky Blue, funny enough, but it's really lovely. So we'll add a little bit of sky blue around here, around the edge, and we're going to start. You see now what we haven't got, what we need to do is add some depth in. See how it's just stopped there? Let's do this. Just wrap that round there, wrap that round there. Let's take some grey. Let's get going now with some shadow. Right, here we go. Right, so let's get some shadow going. Now I could use a dark grey, yeah, that would look good. Or I could use the silver. The silver's good in that box because it gives a metallic look, see? Yeah, that's quite good as well. Nice. especially on this bit here. So just, it's this bit here, isn't it? Make it look tubular. So I'm just using different greys. I'm using greys and silvers and blacks to get some depth now. And a dark blue. So I want to get some depth in that area, don't I? Underneath there. So let's go for it. I'm going to go for a... See, it's a different... I've got a different colour going here now. This is more lilac than this one. See, if I look at that one, see how blue this is by comparison. Same colours, just more of the purple, more of the A7. Isn't that interesting? Than the A5. That's all. That's the only difference. But I like both. Yeah. There's no... So you can... See, now I can go in with this pencil, but I can't... This is not a pencil that I can spread like water. But provided it's dry underneath, if I feel I've done too much, which I feel I have, then I can go in with an eraser and I can push it back. See, I can remove it and it doesn't affect the undercoat. You've stained this. This isn't moving. And I think that's great as well, that you can, if you want to add a bit, let's say, for example, just pretend, right, that you put a bit too much grey in there and you think, oh, blimey, that's too dark, right? I've overcooked it. Then you just take your pink or your red eraser, pink, and you can knock it back, see? And it doesn't affect any of the watercolour behind it. That's cool. That's very cool. So now let's have a look at these trees. So we've got a little bit of depth in there. Right. And I'm going to use a lighter colour. What have I got here? It looks like... See, all my pencils are in the box ready to go up to the studio. Here we go. Let's use a simple beige one. That's nice. This is that boring one that I always use, my favourite. Warm grey 2. Here we go. Let's do warm grey 2 just to get the shadow going. And I'm going to use warm grey 2 on the shading on the tree as well. Just gently does it with this one. Okay. And then I'm going to take a darker colour. Here we are. And you're just going to add shade to get depth. See how it makes it pop? And underneath the roof there, it's going to be darker there, isn't it? And on there, on that side of the, a little bit more there. This is a real good exercise in lightness of touch. So we're not going to press so hard. We're just light circular motions just to add. And it's interesting because the watercolour underneath, I find it's got a bit more purchase. These colours seem to sit better. It's nice. It's nice. See? So here, for example, along here, let's take this warm grey and let's add shade where we'd like to. So I'm going to add a little bit, I want to add a bit of shadow down there. See? And then I think in this corner here as well, I'm going to add in that corner a bit. But actually, perhaps I want a line of white across the top here. So I can take my eraser and I can reintroduce that. If I think I've done, see, I can add a line. Look, watch. So it looks like, there we are. So you can take the colour out again. I wonder what happens with a white one. I'm just going to try this. See if I scratch or rough up the... not bad. So what you're doing now is you're pulling back and taking, you see? And then the letters, let's do the letters. Now, what do I think? I'm going to take a grey on the letters and just lightly, just drop shadow it. So it's always on, let's do the same side of the letter, this side first and the bottom. So you're going to the left and the bottom, like that, like that, like that. So it's always the left and the bottom. and then that will give it a nice drop shadow. Just do it lightly. There we are. There you go. Right, my friends, I'm afraid I'm going to have to love you and leave you, because I actually do have to go up to Peterborough, and we do have to start getting ready for the big event. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, we're launching Core, yeah. These new dies, they're absolutely amazing. I mean, I know it's taken a long time. It took a while to get them done, but wow, you know when you step back and you go, that's unbelievable. Really? Can you do that with it? Wow, that's crazy. And that's the way it's been at work now for a couple of weeks since they landed from China. Everybody's been like, crikey, these are ridiculous. These are good, aren't they? See? Doesn't this look lovely now? See how you build up your colour? I like this. Well, and you see, when it gets dark enough, if I go to this one here, see, I can really come in now, and with the right blue, you've got to pick the right colour, haven't you? See how you come in and you can add some really, over the top of the watercolour. I like that I can go in with the detailed pencil. I don't know about you, but I'm a lot better with pencils than I am with a paintbrush. I think it's just time. It's just because I've never, you know, I've spent a lot more years with a pencil in my hand than with a paintbrush. I guess that's it, isn't it? So I've got complete control when I hold a pencil. Don't you find that? Yeah, this is going to be lovely when it's done. And then we can add a little bit of blue through here. This has got a nice bit of silver in it. Yeah. See, but you can get really dark is what I'm saying. Like, I'm pressing really hard now on that side, and I can get a really lovely, all the way around on this, I could get a really lovely depth. But my point is, like, if I want to get depth on this, and then I will stop, right? If I want to get depth on that, I'll start with a light colour. Let's just show you this. I'll start with a light colour, okay? So I want to get a roundness going. So I'll start with a light colour. Right, so I'm going to use that warm grey. Right, that's the first colour down. Right, a bit patchy, like lightly, going out a bit further maybe. Okay, that'll do. Remember, it's snow, so we don't make it too dark. Then I'm going to take a grey, and then I'm going to stay closer to the edge now. Right, just around the edge. Stay closer, like that. And you'll see how it starts to, just along that edge there, just keep teasing it. There. And up close, see what's lovely is it looks all patchy because you've got a little bit of, I can add a bit more shadow, drop shadow, like, because the stars are hitting the trees, so you're going to get a little bit more shadow here, aren't you? There, doesn't that look nice? See? That shadow there. And then, when you've done that, right, and it's all finished, these are great. These are like brilliant. Here we go. These are, apart from being like hen's teeth, they're so difficult to get hold of at the moment. The white Posca pens. See, once you finish this, when you add the snow, these are the only pens that I know that actually work. Look, you see, you can actually get proper snow, and it stays there. We've got the super fine ones. So I don't really want. I'm only putting them in the darker areas. See, and here comes the snow. And if I want to make the windows really white, I can pop the windows. I can put some snow in there. I can put some snow in put some snow through the trees. Yeah, I can make this a bit more white. I mean, I didn't really get too much colour on it, but that's nice. Here we go. So these pens are worth having. And like I say, without putting too fine a point on it, they're very difficult to get a hold of at the moment. Very erratic delivery. So I checked with Paul earlier, and I know that we've got these ones in for sure. So there you go. I think I'll call it a day on the bauble, because I've really got to get on and get up the motorway. But it's very good to have your company. I hope that you enjoyed that. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. And next Thursday at 10 o'clock, do me a favour, just rock up with a piece of paper and a pencil. And I've got between now and then to come up with something lovely. And who knows, it may be another bauble with another picture inside it. But leave it with me. I'm sure I'll think of something for us to do in the SHAC Shack. So Paul, thank you very much for your help. My friends, have a safe weekend. Have an enjoyable one. I hope to see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock for the big launch of the new dies. And then tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. Oh yeah, that's right. Next level parching at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That's on thecraftstore.com, and I'll see you there. Lots of love, and thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye now. I can't see the screen.